what the hell do you guys even do? What is marketing?
People think it is very easy to write a caption, 6-7 words.
Do you like to go to the gym?
Sometimes.
Everyone calls it content writing. Like, it's content, firstly, not content, guys.
And I hope you got that job.
I did.
Hi, I'm Gautami and I work as a copywriter at Jio Creative Labs. I've been in this industry for more than 2 years now, and still there is so much to know about and to explore. And I think that's the reason we are here today. And what we are actually going to discuss today is the right side of social media, and that right has a W. So for that, we have a very interesting person with us today, who is Jairav. Hi, Jairav.
Hi, Gautami.
So how do you want to do this today?
When the first time someone came to me and said, Jairav, we need you to do a masterclass, I was like, who even watches this anymore? And why? But then a thought came to me that, I teach a bunch of MBA students already. Why not go and ask them what they would want to know about, what they would want to learn about, right? And when I asked them, one question that everyone had on their minds is that, what the hell do you guys even do? What is marketing? And how does it work? So before we even delve into it, right, I want to ask you, so far in your journey, what is marketing to you? How does this work according to you? And let's begin from there.
So marketing was something very different to me before I joined the industry, because earlier I used to think that whatever the brands has to offer, products, services, they're just trying to sell it to me. That's marketing.
Yeah.
But now that I've been in the industry, now that I can see what is going behind the curtain, my entire perception of marketing has changed. There's so much that goes behind, from making a small idea into an entire campaign. It's a very long journey, I feel like, and it's a very interesting journey overall. And also how marketing these days is being perceived has also changed. I, as a person who is seeing the shift, I am a Gen Z, just to say that out loud, but I can actually see that shift from people trying to just sell it to you with commercials, that shifting to actually brands trying to make everything relatable to you, more personalized, more for you, rather than just throwing commercials at you. They're trying to make you part of their campaigns, they're trying to build communities around you. They're trying to make you feel involved. They're trying to prove their point that this brand is not trying to sell something to you, but it is for you at the end of the day.
That's a lovely summation of what we all do. I'll give you my perspective on it, right? So, in my experience, what we have been doing all this while is we tell stories, right?
Right.
And telling stories is the most important part of marketing. There's a lot of things we do. We'll get into the in-depth knowledge of visibility, touch points, all those jargons that everyone knows about. But the most important thing that we do is we tell stories, right? And what is the most important thing about a story? Relatability.
Relatability, exactly. I don't think in today's time you see a lot of millions of ads. You see so much content. There is so much to consume. I as a Gen Z, or I as a person, I am on my phone all day scrolling, and there's so much that I see in a day, and the attention span has gone so low that the brands are again finding it so hard to make things relatable to you, because if you are not relatable, not relevant, then it's a game over.
Absolutely. Well put. To tell this, to answer this question, if I had to take an example of a brand which does storytelling in a great manner, right? I would take a brand that now is recognized as a legacy brand, but it actually was a newbie a few years ago, and it's OnePlus, right?
Oh.
OnePlus came into a market which was dominated by the likes of Apple, Samsung's, and even Motorola to some extent. They had to make their own space.
Correct.
And they knew what they want to sell, which was high performance and speed. And they stuck to that even to date after so many years, over a decade almost. The point I'm trying to make is that when you know what story you want to tell, everything else falls under that.
Absolutely. Right? The very next brand that's coming to my head is Nothing. That was, I think, a revolution where they're just saying that we are nothing at all, and that's their entire positioning, and people are going crazy behind that brand. And I love it how they play with people's mind and try to make it relatable. Like, who thought that a word nothing is going to be relatable?
That's true, So Nothing actually is founded by one of the co-founders of OnePlus. So you see what's happening right there.
Yeah.
Nothing as a brand, as a concept, is so novel for this world. And yet it's working. Yet everyone wants to buy it. Why? Because they have created a niche for them where the story that they're telling is that we are design first, we believe in clean and neat outlook, and that's the experience we want to give you.
Correct.
Right? And they're succeeding with it.
Adding to your point, we are right now living in a digital era. There are so many social media platforms that I can hardly count on my fingers. And the beauty of it is how content and the tone of content or the execution of it changes as we hop from one social media platform to another. For example, being a brand, my tone or my way of delivery or putting out my content or my communication is going to differ when I'm posting something on LinkedIn, when I'm posting something on Instagram to be more relevant to today's audience, and when I'm posting on Twitter. So what do you have to say about this? Because whenever I, being in an industry, being a copywriter, I sometimes, get startled by this thought of how can I just have this one communication tone, being a brand trying to keep it consistent throughout all the platforms, wanting to execute it absolutely perfectly.
Okay, so let me get this right. What you're trying to ask me is that how do we keep a consistent tonality across platforms when there are so many platforms,
so
right?
many platforms, yeah.
Do we need all the platforms is the question I would ask you.
I think what I would like to do as a brand is to be everywhere. Because I want people to know about me wherever, on whichever platform there are. I want to be relevant on all those platforms. क्योंकि जहाँ से भी मुझे attention और awareness मिल रही है, why would I let that go?
Well, I get the point and I get the thinking, and it's great thinking. The only problem I see in that is that as a brand, of course, you want to be everywhere, right? But do you want to be everywhere at the cost of, spendings that are not, backed by ROI? Do you want to be in places where you are not going to get your TG? So while the thought of, more touch points means more visibility, is that touch point a necessity? Now let's do a live exercise, right? You give me a brand and let's then delve into how we would go about picking touch points for that brand, and then how we would do that storytelling to maintain a firm tonality throughout.
Okay.
Right?
So on top of my mind, I can think of Dove as a brand, because the campaign that they did around beauty, where they redefined beauty, was something that I really liked, and that was something which was in very much sync with the thought process of today's customers or audience. So what if we take Dove as a brand?
Lovely. Okay. Do you think you would qualify as a perfect TG for Dove?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Now, if you are the right TG for Dove, please tell me on what different touch points do you think Dove can interact with you?
That's a tricky one. So by touch points, what do you exactly mean? I need to understand.
Okay, social media being one, right? Anything outside of social media, right? Let's take anything digital. You listen to music?
Yeah.
Right? Let's say you listen to Spotify.
Spotify.
All of us do.
Yeah.
If they were to reach out to you on Spotify, because you're going to spend a good chunk of your day on Spotify.
Correct.
How would they do it? What do you think?
I don't know. A lot of brands these days are creating their own playlists. Maybe it can be a dedicated playlist, something around making you feel beautiful about yourself. I don't know.
See, now you get the point of how different touch points work, right? Like that's what I'm trying to ask you. So, like Spotify, what other things do you do in your day where the brand Dove can reach out to you because you fit as the perfect TG for them?
I scroll through social media my entire day, and I keep hopping from one app to another. Say I'm on Instagram, then I'm on Thread, then I'm on Twitter, then I'm just randomly on Google searching and scrolling through things, and yeah.
Lovely. Okay, So what I understood is
Also, shopping apps. How can
Shopping
I forget
apps.
that? Blinkit,
That's quick
Swiggy.
service.
Yeah, quick services.
Okay. So what I understand is that your day looks like any typical Gen Z that I know. Sorry for the stereotype. But, what I notice is, so when you take things like Cred and the shopping app and the quick service, see, these are the obvious touch points, right? These are sort of like the checkboxes that are pre-checked, right? Now, beyond that, what opportunity as a brand do I have to sort of make some space in your life for you to have visibility of my brand, right? So that's where Spotify comes in. That's where, do you like to go to the gym?
Sometimes.
Okay. Which gym do you like to go to?
I think I like to go is another point. I hardly go to a gym, but some that are very popular is Cult. Then there's Anytime Fitness.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay. Let's say you have a cult app on your phone.
Okay.
Right? Now, as a cult member, if I partner with cult and say that, can you sort of spread some free samples in the gym after workout and position it as a, great after workout hair wash because it's going to be sticky, grimy, you just worked out very hard, earn that sweat. So now go wash it off with Dove. So do you think that's a great way to reach out to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Finding the right place at the right time.
Yeah. So like that, a brand would focus on finding out more and more unique touch points. But now we go back to your initial question, which is how do we maintain that tonality?
Correct.
Back in the day, if you would ask me this question, then I would have said that, tonality has to be so static that it cannot change even a little bit moving on. But in this modern era, since the touch points are so different and so unique, at some point, it's not necessary for you to stick to a, ABC textbook. Doesn't mean you go far from the ethos of the brand, right? You still stick to the ethos of the brand. But what you communicate to your audience, that depends on where you're talking to them.
Fair enough.
And that's what I feel is true storytelling.
Okay, so this sets up a context about what is marketing and how digital storytelling looks these days. But then I have a bigger dilemma. And this has been something before I came to the industry. So I have always been a writer or a content writer, to be very precise. And whenever I introduce myself to someone, I say that I'm a writer. Because I cannot, not everybody understands what's the difference or what are so many different kinds of writers that they're there. And when you come into the industry, you cannot just say that I'm a writer. You have to be very precise. You have to say, I'm a copywriter, or maybe I'm a script writer, or maybe I'm a content writer. So when I joined the industry, I really did not know the difference between content writing and copywriting. So that has been something that I have always failed as a person to explain it to someone, even after 2 years of me being in the industry. So how would you like to respond to it? That will give me, something that I can pass on to.
I love this question, because it's the question that I was asked when I went for my very first interview. And I didn't have an answer to that. And here's a pet peeve I have with this, right? Which is everyone calls it content writing. Like, it's content, firstly, not content, guys. Let's please get that right. I hope that everyone listening can remember that and then pass on the message to everyone. Because as much as we want the writing to be satisfactory for our users and our consumers, it is content, not content. Content is satisfaction. So just clearing that up before we even delve into the topic.
Right.
Now moving on from that, copy and content, right? So copywriting is everything that is an ad copy. Right? For example, if you are writing for social media, it's copywriting. If you are writing a script for a DVC, it's copywriting. Even a TVC, it's still copywriting. You're writing for newspaper, still copywriting. Whether it's mainline, whether it's digital, does not matter. All of that is ad copy that falls under copywriting. Content writing is a whole different beast, right?
Yeah.
Content writing is something that you, let's say, if you're writing for a website or you're writing A+ content for Amazon or Flipkart or anything like that, right? That is content writing. Content writing is specific for the use case. And it differs in a way where the intent for the reader is different as well, right? For copy, you're writing for someone who's not ready to see your ad yet. right? You are making sure that they see your ad, then they take note.
Correct.
Contrary to that, in content writing, you're writing, let's say if you're writing on a website, whoever has ended up on your website wants to read about it. They're there, they have the intent to read it. That's why it can be longer, more exhaustive, more extensive, right? And more descriptive.
Correct.
There's creativity in both, but they are very, very different from each other. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people struggle to understand, but I hope this clears it up for everyone.
Correct. But I feel like this is a very debatable question that I want to ask you after this, because I want to see the relevance of the long formats of writing, or say copywriting, in copywriting versus the content writing, because our attention span has gone so down that if I get any post that has too many text in it, I would just scroll it. I would not look what it is about, what it has to offer. But instead, because I have so much content to consume, I'll just rather scroll than spend my time on it. So in such times, what do you think is the relevance of content versus copy?
Okay, fair enough. However, I don't agree with that. I'll tell you why, right? I have a great reasoning for it. I remember the day when I was schooled by a UI UX designer about how to write for a website. And you don't forget that, you don't forget how someone, sort of taught you how to go about doing something. And the simple fact is that you need that. You spoke about Cred earlier.
Yeah.
Cred as an app, someone's writing it, right? How do you think it's coming together? That's UI UX writing. That's not copywriting, that's content writing. Right? The length of the content is not what matters.
Correct.
Whether it is an ad copy or it is written for a website, a UI UX or anything like that, is the difference maker. Content is always written with the motive that someone who comes to you is going to read it. Ads are written with the hope that you are so convincing that someone reads it and gets convinced to see it, right? Or buy your product for that matter. So content writing has its own space and it's going nowhere, right? I prefer copywriting. That's why I made a career in digital content, right? But that doesn't mean that content writing by itself is not really something that is going anywhere. It's going places and it's evolving at its own pace, and a lot of creativity goes into that as well. So it's up to you which flavor of writing you like, and then there's screenwriting, then there are other types of writing. Again, there's technical writing, and that one really is a googly to me also. But there are so many types of writing, right? We can't really specify which one is, what, until you learn more about the basic difference between content and copy.
I think that's a very good enough explanation for me to pass it on to somebody else. And I hope you got that job.
I did. Luckily, I don't even know why, but I did.
Chalo, great. Moving on to another thing that I've always faced as a person in this industry, that has been that I was very confident and I was very sure that I know how to write. I know English good enough. I know the words that are there in the dictionary and I know how to use them in a sentence. But when it comes to bringing down something to a shorter form, speaking of the long format or the short format of writing, people think it is very easy to write a caption, 6-7 words. What does it take? It's easy. But when you have to sum a lot of information in one line and still make sense and communicate entire communication, I have always, struggled with it a little bit.
Okay. So I get where you're coming from, and this is something that I've seen a lot of my junior writers come up to me and say that, we are not sure why you're saying this copy doesn't work. They hate me. They hate me every time I say, no, this is not approved. I'm sorry, but this doesn't work. And they're like, okay, tell me what works. And then you show them and they still don't get it, because the core concept of it is that we are not telling to share something, right? We are telling to make them understand and sort of, believe in it. If all I do is say that, Gautami, this phone is amazing, I don't think that's going to do anything, right? But if I go a roundabout way, let's take Apple for that example, right? And they show beautiful pictures and say shot on iPhone. Enough. Now, is this more creative than this phone is amazing? it's not about creativity.
Yeah.
It's about the context that it's setting, right? Shot on iPhone is creating a community of people who are shooting amazing images, and that is becoming aspirational. That's the context they are going with, right? Similarly, no matter what you're writing for, whether it's a small copy, it's a caption, no matter what it is, until and unless that sets a context, right, or it gives the reader something they can either aspire to, something to believe in, something to relate to, and yada yada yada, whatever it is, until it sets that, all you are doing is writing English and not copy, and there's a huge difference in that.
Correct.
Yeah, so I think that's how I would approach it.
I absolutely agree to what you just said.
Yeah. Now, I have answered enough of your questions. Now it's my turn to bother you with some questions. So tell me this, right? A lot of my students keep asking me this. I want to see if you have learned this in your 2 years working in this industry, right? Which is, how does a brand start talking about themselves when they're new to the market? What do they do? How do they introduce themselves? And how do they establish themselves on social media?
So if I have to give you a framework of how to go about it, if you're a brand who want to just begin or you're just launching in the market and social media is the first place that you go to, you get a username that has not been used before, plus you have to get it has to be an official name. It cannot have 1, 2, 3 or underscore or things like that in your username. That's basic hygiene when you are looking for a username on social media. And if you are a brand who wants to launch yourself in the market and still want to make a difference, and you want people to look yourself as a brand who is trying to do something different, that actually comes from a very, very extensive research. I feel like you need to delve into the market, you need to research every bit of it from A to Z, and you need to know what the competitors are doing, what are the campaigns that are running right now, and what is the tone or what are the ways of communication that the other brands are using right now, and then you try to find a voice of your own in that market. And that comes from a very extensive research. At the same time, there's this one word which in marketing, in writing, on social media works and is very important, which is insight. If you have cracked the correct insight and if it is good enough, strong enough, half of your work is done. Because today every brand is only trying to be relevant and relatable. And at that time, if you have a very nice, very exact on point insight, that can give you a great campaign for your launch, and it can make all the difference. Because I think if you're launching in a way that you're making a buzz about it now, your work is done. You have to be everywhere. I personally feel like you have to be on social media, you have to be on LinkedIn, you have to be on X or any platform possible. I understand that in the beginning stage of the brand, a lot of things depend on the budget, but I still feel like the correct way of going is the organic way. And once you have landed on that one perfect tagline or one perfect campaign line derived from a very strong insight, then you continue it and keep that tone, keep that communication constant throughout all the platforms, so that you can take that stance in the market, which is so crowded and everybody is trying to make their point, everybody is trying to communicate what they want to say. You make it so strong and so consistent, constant throughout the platform that you make that difference. You show yourself that you are different and you have a voice of your own.
Lovely, lovely. So let me try to sum up all your scattered thoughts, right? So you said we begin with a lot of research. Great. We need research. We need to know what other people are doing, what our competitors are doing, what they are talking about, how they are talking about it, and then sort of figure out where we slot into the market.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That's very key. And once you know where you're going to slot into the market, now you understand the space that you're getting into. Now comes the hard part, which is that what do you want to be known as? What is your brand identity and what is your ethos?
Correct.
Right? Once you figure that out, it's just a matter of creating great content, great ideas. Then we go into content buckets, and that's not something that we should bother people with today, because that's what they have to come to us and learn with soul, right? So that, I think, is a great place to start. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. This was us answering your first question regarding digital marketing. And if you really want answers to your second, third, fourth, and infinite questions, then come join us at Soul Program. With this, let's move on to our next segment, which is Would You Rather? I'm sure you would have played this game with your friends.
Oh yeah, I have.
So, would you rather chase market share or mind share?
Good question. Really good question. And it's an easy answer for me. It's mind share, because if you have mind share, if people love you, if there is brand love, then market share will automatically follow. You know, so it's an easy one for me.
So the next one is, would you rather have 10 creative humans on your side or one AI system that understands your brand perfectly?
Can I be selfish here and say both? I mean, I would love both because that would be amazing. But in an ideal world, that would be possible. In real world, that seems unlikely. So I think I would love 10 creative humans, but I feel like the efficient way to go is get one of those creative humans to run all the AI systems. And that is the superpower I would like to have.
So the next one is, would you rather manage one big creator collab or have 100 small micro creator collabs?
Tricky one. I like the mega creator collab thing, and I feel like both of them have their own perks and pros and cons and all of that. I personally think the micro creators would make more sense for most brands out there. And the reason I say that is, let me give you an example. Have you used Mama Earth?
Yeah.
Mama Earth has this strategy where they collaborate with lots and lots of micro influencers, right? My Protein is a similar brand. They do the same thing. And the reason that I feel is effective, especially for a brand trying to make space in this cluttered market, is that they get to sort of reach out to the audience that they are relevant to. Rather than working with one creator who will have one set of audience which is completely diversified, right? I would prefer micro influencers who are more targeted to the audience that I want to speak to. So in this case, I would lean towards that, but they both have their own pros and cons.
But don't you think that the authenticity of the brand dilutes when you go to multiple creators and rather than going to one? Because that one I can maybe trust that this person might use this product and might not be lying to me about its benefits or things like that. But when 100 creators at the same time are talking about just one brand, then I clearly know that it's marketing.
I think it's quite the other way around. People nowadays will look at a celebrity talking about a product and say that, हाँ इसको तो पैसा मिला होगा, इसलिए बोल रहा है, ये तो use भी नहीं करता होगा. And big influencers, what are they if not celebs anymore, right? So the perception is actually the other way around, where micro influencers are more relatable because they feel like you and I, right? They feel like normal people. And if they are using it, even if it's an ad, you know and you believe that they are actually using the product and it might actually be good. So what you just said, it may have made sense maybe 10 years ago. But now how the market has shifted, how the audience are now smarter, it's the other way around.
Fair enough. Let's move on to the next one. Would you rather work in the 90s glory days of advertising or in today's digital chaos?
I like my creative chaos, so I'm going to stick to it. But if I could bring back one thing, I will bring back long form newspaper ads. What happened to those? I loved the creativity in that. I loved writing like that. And I hope that someday it becomes relevant again.
But I really think people are doing such crazy, interesting things with newspapers these days when they are putting smell, textures that you can actually interact with. So I think that's going somewhere.
And that's beautiful. And I love it. But at the core of it, I'm a writer and I want to write great copy. So your smells are nice and your innovations are great and I love it. Let me write good copy, please.
If I have to give my opinion, I really love the ads that they were in 90s. And I am so sure that even the kids today will remember, or even if you make them interact with those earlier advertisements, they will remember the jingles or the tunes that the brands are following till date. They are so catchy or so, they have so much nostalgia that you just cannot forget them at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? Okay, so the next one is, would you rather run a campaign with perfect targeting or perfect timing?
Again, an easy one for me. I'll go with perfect timing.
Okay.
And I have a great reasoning for that. See, perfect targeting is very necessary for every brand and every product. But perfect targeting only and only works when your consumer either has the wherewithal to buy that product or invest in it, and it's the right time for them to do it, right? I'll give you a quick example. I want to buy a bike, right? Great bikes are coming out. Can I buy a bike right now? No, because my current situation dictates that I have to, give priority to other things. So can I do that? No, I can't. Great targeting. I need one. I love bikes, but I can't do it right now. Now coming to timing. COVID happened, right? The world wasn't using sanitizers like they started using it like Tic Tacs. Everyone had one, right? And it is just a timing thing where every shop ran out of sanitizers because suddenly it became a necessity. So timing dictates targeting any day of the week.
I absolutely agree to that. And that brings me to the last one, which is, would you rather run one iconic ad that defines your brand or go with daily short digital reels that are your short wins every day?
So let me get this right. When you say one iconic ad, you mean a TVC.
I mean a TVC.
See, I'll answer this in a different manner. Do you remember Hamara Bajaj?
Yeah, everybody does, I think. Hamara Bajaj.
Have you ever ridden a scooter?
No.
No. Would you ever buy a scooter? A scooter, the Lambrettas from our daddy's age?
No.
Would you?
obviously not.
No. The point is, iconic TV ads can be memorable, and that's great. It's top of mind recall. Lovely. But when we learn digital marketing, we learn the 3 funnels of digital marketing. Tofu, mofu, bofu, which is
Correct.
top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. And while awareness and consideration might be something that you generate with a TVC, which is iconic, until backed with great amplification on digital, what you will not get is the last part, which is the conversion, which is the most important one, because without sales, what are you even doing with a brand?
So this was great fun. With this, let's move on to the next segment. So I asked ChatGPT to give me some trending and commonly asked questions regarding marketing. So let me pick your brains with it. So the first one is, what are the most common or relevant traits of a marketer?
Okay. See, for me, a great marketer is someone, especially in the world of digital marketing, is someone who's always present on social media. And by that, I don't mean randomly scrolling reels, which are irrelevant. Follow more brands, see what they are doing, what is being spoken about, follow more campaigns, go online, learn about it, see what different websites like D&D and all these other websites that are there are talking about. You have Social Samosa, you have Mad Over Marketing, and then go beyond. Follow different types of brands, right? Your Instagram should be filled with brands, 1:5 ratio of humans. At the very least, that's how my Instagram looks like, right? And then once you have that set up, start segregating them. So what I do is, if I see a great ad, I will segregate it based on the category and genre it falls into, right? That way, if I am ever looking back for references, I know where to go and look. And that automatically cuts out the basic research that you need to do for any brand that you ever work on, right? And that's a great trait for any digital marketer.
Absolutely, I agree, because there are so many times when I'm trying to reference something and then I remember that I saw that reel, where can I find it, and then I'm never able to find it.
Compartmentalize.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is, how can a student build a marketing portfolio even before graduating?
A lot of people have asked me this, and I feel like the easiest thing for anyone to do is self-assignments. Thing is that if you look at what brands are doing out there, right? You take any popular campaign, whichever one you like, and you recreate it in your own flavor, right? Whether it's for social media, whether it's outdoor, no matter what it is, recreate it in your own flavor, and that becomes your brief and your creative process and your campaign. Start doing it for enough brands from different sectors, and now you have a portfolio ready without working anywhere.
Absolutely.
And as someone who recruits these people, if someone has taken the effort and has put the proactive, thinking into it, that's more than enough for me.
Okay, so the last one is that, how can I decide if my personality is fit for a marketing role?
I feel like I'm not the right person to answer this. I've been in this so long that I feel like my answer might be irrelevant at this point. But why don't you answer this question for us?
So when I decided that I want to be a marketing person, or when I chose this career path, I am a person who likes to be creative. I like consuming a lot of content, and I like the fact that my everyday looks different. Every brief, everything that comes to my table is different than what it was yesterday. So that gives me a little feeling of that I'm alive, that my work gives me that amount of satisfaction that I want.
The thrill is what we live for.
Yeah.
That's as good an answer as I've ever heard. So I think we should end at that.
Great. This was such an insightful conversation, and I'm so sure this is going to help a lot of people.
I had a lot of fun doing this, and that's our time with Marketing Unfiltered. If you have any question, please drop them down in the comment section below and follow us for more such masterclasses. See you at Seoul.